Hello, I am long overdue for a long-form YouTube video. You may have seen me around on the internet with my early 2000s scene sketches and elder emo nostalgia, as I like to call it. I started social media about 4 years ago, and it's just been a wild journey. I've got to meet so many of my favorite bands, a lot of my childhood heroes, and meeting so many of you guys who have related to me is pretty dang cool. I haven't talked about the origins of how all this stuff came about. Let's backtrack to 2019. My mom needed to downsize and she was selling my childhood home, so my mom was one of those people that saved everything. Everything had importance. It took months to go through all of the toys and just belongings that I had had throughout the majority of my life, and a lot of it I did end up getting rid of and donating or selling online. But a lot of it I did keep. I am mad at myself for giving away some of the stuff that I did, but at the time I did not have the space to store it. It was overwhelming. It took us months and months and months to really go through everything and figure out what we wanted to keep, and I think I just hit a wall and I got exhausted and just decided to donate. So there are some things that I do regret donating, but we'll have to save that for another video. When I was going through a lot of this stuff, it was bringing up a lot of memories and just things that I forgot about, and looking at these things that I hadn't seen in 15 plus years was really cool and nostalgic for me. By the time a lot of that was downsized, the pandemic hit, so I was stuck with all of this stuff that I didn't really know what to do with. I acquired all this stuff that my mom had had for years, and I didn't really have any use for it. It was sitting in boxes, just sitting in my apartment at the time. I think a lot of us were bored during the pandemic, and I was one of those people. I just started breathing new life into a lot of the things and the shirts and the belongings that I had had as a kid, and it was cool. It was really cool and fun and cathartic. It really took off in a way that I didn't really expect. It's just been a surreal, wild ride since then. It's been really cool. So you get a first look at some of my cool, unseen childhood belongings. Let's go. I was a preteen in the early 2000s, and I became a teenager in mid 2000s. A lot of this stuff is very old. One of my favorite things that I had late elementary school, middle school is my password journal, and it sits here in my office. I made this, I think this was from M Magazine, those kids kind of celebrity gossip magazines you'd see at like the store. I'm gonna look it up. It was M Magazine and Tiger Beat, that's the other one. Whenever we'd go to the grocery store, I'd beg my mom, have allowance money to spend the $3.99 on an M Magazine or a Tiger Beat magazine. If you had those magazines, you know how iconic those quizzes were. At the time, this was, I think, like 2004, 2005, I want to say. It was like right when I was discovering emo music. I started out loving Hilary Duff, Avril Lavigne, I think like a lot of us did, and I fell in love with Ali and AJ. They had kind of like an edgy rocker girl vibe. But yeah, it's covered in Ali and AJ cutouts from magazines. Do you remember Video Nows? I got rid of mine a couple years ago, and I'm kind of mad about it. I don't think there's batteries in this. I'm gonna try to see if I can put batteries in there to open this up. Success! The mic doesn't work anymore, and I tried to reset the password. Let's open this up. Oh, no way. I used to write songs when I was like a preteen. I used to go to work because my mom owned a business, so I would write songs with my zero musical talent. I don't even remember writing this. This is wild. One of these days I'll have the courage to share this. Maybe it's poetry? I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking. There was some angst going on here. Jeez. I'm gonna cover this up because this has my address on it, but this is the stickers inside. Oh, I don't know if this light works. Nope, does not. This is also 20 years old, so this is from Christmas 2004. Okay, so that answers the question as to when I got it. I got Ella Enchanted on DVD that year. That was a good year. Oh my gosh, this is wild. I haven't looked at this in so long. My favorite song was Helena by My Chemical Romance. That was fun. Similarly to my mom downsizing her house, in 2022 we were downsizing my grandma's house, and my grandma is also a big hoarder, collector, however you want to define that. My grandma took care of my cousins a lot growing up, and we would sometimes stay the night at grandma's house, so she'd always have her own set of toys. This little gem I did take for myself. This came out the year I was born. These were most famous by the movie Home Alone.
Credit card, you got it.
I don't know where the tape is, but you have to put a cassette tape in. Oh, there we go. Like I said, we put a lot of emphasis on memories. This is from like early 2000s. This was right around like the time Josie and the Pussycats came out, that 2000s movie. I think it came out in 2001. It is still fun to think about all the colorful printed stuff we used to have. I thought about trading them out, but now I'm kind of holding on to the sentiment of like what it was at the time. I have teased this one a little bit in some of my content. I don't know if you can see that little logo, but it says Mary-Kate and Ashley. It's a plaid print notebook I got from Walmart. I think this was like 2001, I want to say. I threw out a lot of the stuff that was in here. The one thing that is still in here is I found this site, I want to say this was like 2002, 2003. There was just really weird websites that existed in that time. I found this website and it was a Hobbit name generator, and you could do the same but with your Elvish names.
Now taking the hobbits to Isengard!
With Lord of the Rings coming out at that time, I, at Christmas time, did my entire family's Hobbit and Elvish names. I'll share mine with you because I think it's hilarious. My Elvish name is Nessa Lewin Way. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. And my Hobbit name is Ruby Tyfeld of Tookbank. Does anybody remember this magazine, Disney Adventures? This was one of my favorite magazines to read in like elementary, middle school. In each issue, there was a fan section where you could write in. And of course, being a Harry Potter fan at the time, I used to braid my hair at night and come to school the next day with Hermione waves. I wrote into this magazine as an 11-year-old with my Hermione hair thinking I looked exactly like her. There's me in the October 2003 issue of Disney Adventures. Crazy to say now. I don't know what I was thinking, but she was onto something. This was also something that I did keep along from my grandma's house. Like I said, my grandma kept everything very similarly to my mom. We have a Furby in the original box, and as you can see, she's sleeping. I don't want to put batteries in her to wake her up because these things are possessed. If you know, you know. These things were notorious for coming to life at night, even without batteries, and I just do not want to summon those demons. Not today. I have plenty more nostalgic things to show you guys. This is still very new territory for me, and I have so many things I want to talk about. I'd love to hear more feedback from what you'd like to see from me, whether that be vlogs, makeup looks, throwbacks. I'm open to whatever. I just want this to be like a different space than what you'd get from me on a short form platform. I want this to be like a little bit more in-depth. Thank you for watching this. Like I said, please comment what you want to see from me, like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!